I find it much more difficult to write fiction than nonfiction because I have to get myself into an imaginary world. It's almost like entering a kind of a trance. Whereas with a newspaper article, I'm making an argument. It's a linear way of thinking. It's not that oblique and somewhat opaque way of thinking that fiction demands. Fiction, many people think, is the more valuable art form because of that difficulty in writing and difficulty in entering. And also because the great works of art in literature that we remember from any given century are fictional, not non-fictional. We remember Dickens, not Thomas Macaulay. We remember Swift more than we remember Gibbon. For some reason, fiction is losing in popularity to non-fiction in book sales. People prefer to read things they believe to be true rather than stories that are made up. And that's possibly because the aesthetic techniques that are now current in the writing of fiction versus those that are used in the writing of memoir. Fiction tends to be written in a much more oblique and opaque way in which things, there's the classic rule that's given to fiction writers in creative writing workshops, which is show, don't tell. So you present everything with a kind of a neutral gaze without explaining it. Whereas memoirists tend to explain. There's something just basically compelling about the idea that this is a true story. This is what makes Ripley's Believe It or Not so exciting. This is an amazing thing, and it's even more amazing to think that it's true rather than just a fantasy that somebody made up.